Hi everybody, and thanks for joining Stamp with Tracy for today's Wow Wednesday. Well, it's hard to believe, but it is the last Wednesday for Celebration, so we're coming down the wire here. If there's anything that you wanted out of the Celebration catalog, I suggest get your order in as soon as possible. February 28th is the last day at 11 p.m. to place an online order. If you need anything and you need my help, don't hesitate to contact me. But there was a few things left that I wanted to show you, but I don't have time for it. I'm running out of weeks, so we're going to concentrate on a stamp set that I think was a real sleeper from here. But in the interim, I want to tell you also that the Dainty Flowers Designer Series paper has sold out. So that is gone, so that's not an option any longer. But this free stamp set that I said is a sleeper, because it really, it doesn't look all that great. What's the big deal about it? It's carrots, But I have seen so many wonderful textured things done with these that I just wanted to share it with you. Now, of course, I'm going to go ahead and do one that has the carrot theme about it, but then I'm going to show you some alternatives as well. So what I have here is a 3" by 5.5" piece of basic white, and I have my Parakeet Party ink pad. And what I've done was I've marked, well, let me bring this up about the host code. I had a problem with my February host code. I had kept it open for a really long time, and it was actually carried over from early January, late December, and you're only supposed to have them open for like 30 days. And I had continued to keep that one open because it hadn't yet accumulated enough to be a party in its own. So I thought, what the heck, I'd leave it open because I wasn't getting anything out of it anyway. But I do appreciate everybody that used it. It did finally make it to that point. I wanted to go ahead and close it out so it wasn't in any jeopardy of losing it completely. And I did that the other day. So I did go ahead and start my new March host code a little bit early. And you can find my host codes on my Stamp with Tracy's page or my TNT Tracy Stampin' group. I pin that at the top so that it's always there. I'm not really sure how you view things because I see my page differently or my group differently than you do, since I'm the administrator of it. But I believe that if you just go to the very top, the first post should always be that pinned post that shows you my host code that's active at the time. But anyway, getting back to this, I didn't bring my Stamparatus with me, so I'm going to have to try to do this by hand. And I saw this card and I absolutely loved it, and it's another thing of using like this textured background. But one of the things is that it's really better if it's completely uniform, but I don't think it's going to be 100% uniform because I don't have my, as I said, I don't have my Stamparatus with me. So I am going to just try and stamp it. So I've marked a little tiny center mark, and I'm just going to go back and forth with my Parakeet Party and stamp this all the way down the page. If I had my Stamparatus with me, I could just pick it up and it would be definitely symmetrical all the way down. But it's a handmade card, so it doesn't have to be perfect, right? So this thanks a bunch. I've seen it has some of the really cute little sayings in it. And it has a large carrot, a small carrot, and it has little textured designs that you can make the carrot like two-toned. You know how carrots sometimes have deeper colors in different places. I'm getting on the edge here because I'm trying not to get actually in the camera, but trying to line this up. Not doing too bad. Getting some residual ink on the sides here that I don't want to end up on the paper. Again, this is Parakeet Party. And speaking of in colors, the 2021 to 2023 in colors are going to be going out with the catalog that ends, I believe it goes through the end of April, if I'm not mistaken, the annual catalog, and May 2nd, I believe they try to do it now on a weekday so that they're open if there's any problems with the launch, would be the new catalog coming out. I'm sorry, I don't have it right in front of me to tell you for sure, but I need a piece of scrap paper underneath of here now, because we're going to be coming over here on the sides and going to be doing the opposite right next to each one of these. So if you are interested in those in colors and you don't have everything you need, or you have it and you want to make sure that you have paper and ink refills. The ink refills to me are the most important thing, of course. You have the ink and you don't have the refill and it dries up on you, you have a problem. So it's a great time to get those orders in, get your supplies together, get a $50 order in so that you can qualify for another free celebration item before it ends. And also, the clearance rack had a bunch of items added to it today. And often there are not stamp sets in the clearance rack, but today they did add stamp sets. So even clearance items qualify. If your order totals $50, you qualify for celebration. Free items. And this stamp set could be one of them. Again, it's called Thanks a Bunch. I'll show it all to you again as soon as we get this one finished. Didn't want to take too long, but I wanted to show you how I was stamping it to get this look. Now, I did see this online, and I cased pretty much the idea from another demonstrator. I have went back several times to try to find her name and have been unable to do so. So I apologize, I can't acknowledge. The name of the person who made the card. So now we're going to take this strip, basic white. Again, it was 3 by 5.5, and this evening evergreen is 3 1/4 by 5.5. And we'll use our Stampin' Seal that I think is empty, but I'm trying my best to get every last little bit out of it. Because I don't like to waste anything. So this is only going to be 1/4 inch smaller in the width. So I'll have a little bit of 1/8 inch on each side. And then I'm going to layer that onto a piece of the Parakeet Party cardstock. And I'm going to have it a little bit off to the left, very close to the edge of this Parakeet Party. And again, this one is 4 1/4. No, I'm sorry, 4 by 5.5. And then we're going to add that onto a basic white thick cardstock base that is 5.5 by 8.5. Yep, I think that's finally did it. See if we got anything more left of this one. Nope. So I have a spare here ready to go. Line that all up. Snap that back together and get this one started. And then, as I said, we're going to layer this onto the thick Whisper white card base. And I did go ahead in advance, but isn't that a pretty textured background? I think it's so pretty. And I didn't do too bad not having my Stamparatus. It's lined up pretty good. I have stamped the carrot in Calypso Coral, and then I did the second generation of it in Cajun Craze, and I did 2 of the leaves on top of the carrot in the Parakeet Party. I added my dimensionals, Stampin' Dimensionals to the back of that. And I'm going to line that up right here on that. And then it looks like spring is one of the sayings. I stamped that again with the Parakeet Party. And we'll line that up right there. And then I only brought my white baker's twine with me. So I just went ahead and used my drawing a blank, blends, my Stampin' Blends, to color this white baker's twine. And I'm just going to add my little bow right there, the little bit of liquid glue. And then I have some bling. Now these are the iridescent pastel gems that are in the current mini catalog that also will run. I think the last day to order from that is May 2nd as well. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of bling. And these are Calypso Coral, Balmy Blue, and Gold iridescent gems. I love those. I think they're so pretty. So then we have a nice little simple card used for any occasion. It looks like spring, so you could use that for anything. And we'll stamp the carrot with Calypso Coral on the inside. See if I can find that ink pad here somewhere. Not the Calypso Coral, sorry. We're going to do that with the, yeah, Calypso Coral. And I'll do 3 little carrots there. And then there's a little tiny sprig that is really cute. That's from the stamp set as well. This cute little sprig right here. So there's all the sayings. Look at you. It looks like spring. Hey there. Everything's coming up carrots. There's no one quite like you. Love you a bunch. Thanks a bunch. And then there's all these little textured things here. This goes to the smaller carrot. This goes to the larger carrot. We're going to take the little sprouts and use that Parakeet Party. Ink those up and put those on the little inside there. So there we have it. Nice cute little card, quick and simple. The longest thing was probably cutting that out by hand. So now let me show you some other really cool ideas that I did. And again, I did case these from a lot of demonstrators online. I'll do my best to identify them, and if I find out who I cased this other one from, if it pops up anywhere as I'm searching, been searching for it, I'll go ahead and add her name to the comments. So on these, I wanted to let you know I did use these upcoming ones that I'm going to show you. I did use the Stylish Shapes dies, and on one of them I also used this Rays of Light stamp set, which I'm going to be using a lot in the spring. I think it's really, really pretty. I absolutely loved it. So here's one. And this one was by our artist and design team member called Tammy. Tammy Wilson is her name. And she's a great demonstrator, does some beautiful things, and she did get nominated and was elected to run on our artist and design team. So I think it's a year or a 2-year thing that she's part of. But so she'll be posting a lot of stuff I'll have access to. I like to see. She shares so much with me and I share with you. But this is the burlap ribbon. This is a piece of soft succulent, a piece of calypso coral, and basic white. And I just stamped the carrot several times, gave its topping with evening evergreen, took one of those little background designs and just gave it a little bit stamped off first. I know you probably can barely see it. Some places it's heavier than others, but just to give it a little bit of textured background. Again, that was by Tammy Wilson. And this one here is the one that I used, that Rays of Sunlight stamp set and a background stamp. Now what I did was just cut a smaller piece. I believe this is 3 by, be 4 1/4, 3 by 4 or 3.5 by 4 maybe. I'm sorry, I don't know 100%. I cut out, stamped 3 little carrots and cut those out and stamped that everything's coming up carrots. And on the inside of that one, I did the little carrots again as well. And that one, this carrot one was, everything's coming up carrots. Oh, I don't remember who I got. Oh, this one I did myself. I didn't case that from anyone. I came up with that myself. That's why I couldn't remember a name. Every once in a while I do that. Now this one with the heart I thought was just so darn cute. This was a demonstrator named Cindy Mitchell Clark, and she just took 2 of the carrots and lined them up and stamped them to make a nice beautiful heart of it. And then this is the Love You a Bunch from the stamp set, Thanks a Bunch. And I did some of the adhesive back sequins and the eucalyptus embossing folder. And this is Sweet Sorbet. And this designer series paper was from the suite of Love You So Much, I believe it was called, that I showcased for a few Valentine's cards a couple of weeks ago. And put all this together. Absolutely love it. Again, this one was Cindy Mitchell Clark was her name. And then this is another one that I came up with the idea. I saw some different ones where people had different textured designs just as background. So I took the large carrot and I did this in Starry Sky. And I did the big fat part of the carrot in the center, and did one going up, one going down, one going across, one going to the right, to the left, and then I filled in there. And then I took the Tahitian Tide and did the same thing. I did the Tahitian Tide on each side of the Starry Sky. And then I came back with the Sweet Sorbet and did one of the carrots with the Sweet Sorbet right in the center of all of those Tahitian Tides. And came out with this really pretty, I think it's really cool looking. And then there's some more of the textured stamps that are in this set, all these little dots. This would be the second textured part of the carrot. And I did stamp off on those so that they were real light in the background. Here's another little textured design. That would be this little design right here. And then this was the dots. And then this is the one that I had used on the background of the other one, and this one as well, with the Tahitian Tide stamped off. So this is a Tahitian Tide background, Sweet Sorbet, and basic white. And just a plain basic white on the inside. Then this scenery one here was by Jackie Persigetti, I think is how you pronounce her name. And it has nothing to do with carrots. It has nothing to do with it, but she just used the textured stuff in the background and created the scenery. So this cute little textured piece of the carrot is what I used to build the mountains. This piece right here, that was just a little blotch, little dot design blobs. There were no real shapes to make it look like birds. And this was the sprigs that are there for the carrots. And I used my blending brushes and daubers to make these colors. I have pale papaya, soft succulent, evening evergreen. These were stamped, I'm pretty sure they were stamped in basic black. I know these might have been in evening evergreen. So this is a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white, then 4 by 5 1/4 in the evening evergreen, and then the heavy thick basic white card base. And then I just added a few of those little sprigs on the inside there. But I just thought, you know, I never would have come up with something like this completely on my own, but I saw it and I thought, this is really cool for just using all those textured things to get some backgrounds. And then last but not least, this little one that has the scenery on it was by Paula, and I had a really hard time seeing her last name in her copyright mark on her picture. I believe it was Tannon, T-A-N-N-O-N, but I'm not 100% sure. But I've seen a lot of demonstrators do this, but they turn the carrot upside down and use it as a tree. And then of course using those little textured parts of the carrots to make some grass. Used my blending brushes on here. This was Balmy Blue, and I think I might have had some green on the brush already, and it has that texture of that blue-green sky. This is the Parakeet Party, and then this one I did with the soft succulent. So I did it like in a sort of triangular type way, and then I came back and stamped. And these really cool little loose daisies. They have all these little tiny different size daisies with little green leaves on them. They're called loose daisy embellishments, and they're in the mini catalog that it's part of the, I think it's called In the Rain suite. And they're in there, and I just think they are so, so precious. So I use the There's No One Quite Like You, and this is where I use the stylish shapes. This was the largest square, and then this was the largest, not the longest, but the largest like width banner cut out from the stylish shapes. But I just thought that scenery turned out so cute. And again, this was by Paula. I believe the last name was Tannon. So just wanted to show you, doesn't have to be a carrot. It could be almost anything that your mind wants it to be, with all of these cute little cards. I'll show you one at a time again real quick. Thank you for joining me for today. I hope you got everything you wanted out of Celebration. If there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to let me know. Don't forget to like and comment for your chance to win. Remember, like and comment, and you can win 2 cards from tonight's video. I usually draw my winner on Mondays. So hopefully Monday I will be drawing the winner, and I will contact everyone. And don't forget that you can also view my Wow Wednesday videos on my YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Don't forget about the March host code, and anything I can help you with, feel free to let me know. Happy stamping, everyone. Bye-bye.